So you want to be famous. Are there some biblical lessons behind this? You want to be a star? Want to be a celebrity? Want to go to Hollywood? Travel to California and pursue your dream of acting? Or something else? Some other type of influencer, celebrity status? So what does God and the Torah and the Bible have to say about this? So the first task, the first encounter that we have between God and Abraham in the Bible, where God tells Abraham to go forth from your land, from your birthplace, and from your father's house to the land that I will show you. It's a very great test. It's compounded. It's not only where he was born, it's his father's house, and to the land that I will show you. It's like, not only did you grow up here, not only were you raised here, but also it's not exactly clear where you're going. So it's like a person who's pursuing a dream. Do they know exactly how it's going to turn out? Is it as practical as getting a degree in some regular profession? It seems kind of open-ended. Well, how is this all going to turn out? So anyone that is seeking to chart new ground, whether celebrity status or not, it's like an entrepreneur, someone who is just charting a course. So it takes a lot of faith and trust in God, because every step that you're taking is an uncharted step in some ways. And then the following verse in the Bible, what does it say? And I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you, and I will aggrandize, that's the word we're going to focus on today, aggrandize your name, and you shall be a blessing. And then it continues, and I will bless those who bless you, and so forth. So aggrandize your name. God will aggrandize the name of Abraham. What does that mean, aggrandize? So both words, I will make you into a great nation, and I will aggrandize your name, it's the same root in Hebrew. It's gadol, like to be big. Like if you want to go to Hollywood, going to this new land, and you want your name in lights on the big screen, right? So aggrandize your name. Usually when we think of someone who has a very great name, a lot of people know about this person. Very big name. A big following, a big screen. But what do we learn from Abraham? Something very, very special. Is that from Abraham's perspective, what was his focus, his laser focus in his life? That was not on making his name great, but on making God's name great. So if you want to know the secret, like, law of attraction, you want to be able to manifest this thing, to be famous, to make your name great. So to do it in a holy way, the focus has to be on making God's name great. There's no other way around it. And really, that's the deeper meaning behind why we're attracted to celebrities to begin with. This is a person that God has blessed. It's an opportunity, in turn, for them to then aggrandize the name of God, for them to then promote the name of God. Now that they have this name, now that they have this following, now that they have people looking up to them, so now this is an opportunity, a very great opportunity to aggrandize, to make great the name of God. And in so doing, as Abraham, was his focus in life, so he merited to change the entire world, to usher in the consciousness of monotheism throughout the entire world, both amongst the Jewish people, both being the father of a nation, of the Jewish people, but also throughout the entire world. So what did he occupy himself, let's say, in the desert? What was his occupation? Like we said, that a dreamer, an idealist, someone who's going to Hollywood, is it's like creating new footsteps. Like every step is something new, not just pursuing a degree with a clear profession in sight. But God told Abraham to go out from your birthplace, from the land of your father, to the land that I will show you. So Abraham had to decide what those footsteps would entail. How is he going to exactly aggrandize the name of God? What is his plan going to be? So he set up a tent. He set up a tent as one of his activities, one of his campaigns. Set up a tent in the desert for nomads that passed through. I guess he tried to choose a thoroughfare that was as heavily populated, as heavily traversed as he could figure out, and so he set up a tent with his wife Sarah, and it was a place where they provided water to wash off and food to eat. You can imagine in the desert, this was a very welcome sight for travelers in the desert. But what was the point? The point was not commerce. He's not going to like charge people. The point was not to make money off of this. The point was that afterwards, after they eat, they should praise God. And if they said, "Which God do you want me to praise?" He said, No. There's only one God. Across all heaven and earth, there's only one. And so, what's the greatness of Abraham? What's his? What's the merit? What's the great point and purpose of his celebrity status? Of that God blessed him with a great name. Is that he made God's name great? That he aggrandized the name of God. And he did so on an individual level, and then we see throughout the entire world that he invited one nomad after the next, and then eventually this spread through the world. So the focus is not on numbers. That's one of the lessons here. Is that how many followers do you have? How many likes? How many comments? How many subscribers? No, the focus is on those one-to-one interactions. If a person puts themselves in a mentorship role, at least for one person, maybe for that very reason they were put on this earth. It's not a numbers game. It's an opportunity. Every interaction is an opportunity. So that's the first lesson here. And then one opportunity leads to the next and the next. And why do we celebrate celebrities? Because we see clearly that God is blessing them with this ability, and it's all is what you do with it. Are you gonna buy some fast cars and mansions and yachts and jewelry, or take the lesson from Abraham and realize that God is blessing you for a reason? This is the test of wealth, the test of success, the test of fame. It's for a purpose and a reason, that our soul came down to this world for a reason, to fulfill purpose. So Abraham felt very strongly that this was to promote, to make people aware and cognizant, to teach people about God. This is what he devoted his entire life to, and as a result, he spent forth a lot of effort. He had a lot of challenges. It wasn't easy, but he persevered. through those footsteps to that land that I will show you, and ultimately that means the land of Israel. So, for instance, here's a very practical example. This is actually something that has just happened. I won't say the person by name, but he's a very good example of this in today. So this was a person that started off as a vendor. So we said that Abraham, why is he serving people food? It's not for commerce. It's for the sake of teaching people about God, for performing acts of kindness, and as a result, God sent him people, person after person after person, and he taught, and Abraham taught person after person after person. So there's a person that started off as a vendor, but because he was so nice, and this is the lesson is to be nice to when we interact with people, even if we're dealing in business affairs. The main point is that's just an excuse. The business fairs are just an excuse for two people to get together. Like when the Lubavitcher Rebbe gave out dollars on Sunday, and he met with thousands of people, and he stood for 5, 6, 7 hours at a time until he was 89 years old, handing out dollars and blessings, interacting with thousands of people. It was just this Sunday dollars thing was just an excuse for the Rebbe to see people, to interact with people, to bless people, to connect with them with God. So what defines it is not the whatever the excuse is. What defines it is the opportunity to do good, to interact soul to soul, person to person, to do something good. So this vendor, they were dealing with cards, but what was the thing that was coming out of these stories, these interactions? Why was it getting millions of views? Because he was so kind, he was so nice. And the more nice he was, the more donations he got. To the point where now, what does he do primarily? Primarily he does meet and greets. The people line up just to interact with him. It's like graduating from that vendor mentality to view those cards, to view the meal, like in Abraham in his tent, to view that as just an excuse, to Sunday dollars, to view the Rebbe, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, standing 5, 6, 7 hours at a time until he was 89 years old. Can you imagine? And what gave him that strength is every single interaction with every single person. So they needed some reason to get together, some excuse. Okay, so you have dollars. You give dollars because why dollars? Because you're saying to the person, here's the dollar. You give another dollar in exchange to charity because people want to keep the dollar that they received from the Rebbe. So they gave another dollar to charity. So something good is coming from it. What's good? What's something good that's coming from it? Donations, charity. Loving kindness, doing acts of kindness. And so this vendor, that he was, by the end, even when he was a vendor, he was giving cards away for free, like almost every interaction. And the more he gave away, the more donations he got, to the point where now it's just, he prefers these meet and greets. Why does he prefer these meet and greets? Because he sees this. He sees that the main thing is that people want to see him. The buying of the card, the commerce, is just an excuse. And so if a person comes with their cards, so he has to see what the prices are. He has to see how much his cards are, how much their cards are, whether they're trading or whether he's buying. It takes time. It takes more time. And meanwhile, there's more people online that just want to see him. Just want to say hello and say thanks for cheering my day. Thanks for posting those videos that brought light to my day. It gave me some hope in humanity and the goodness of humanity. So when you're involved in commerce, there's only so much. Just to scale it, how do you scale it? So it starts off with the individuals. It starts off with, like Abraham having meals with these individual nomads. But eventually you have to scale. Eventually you have to have, to go from those individual meals to some type of a meet and greet, like the Lubavitcher Rebbe. You have thousands of people. The main thing is people want to see you. They want to interact with you. And so we need some way to facilitate that, ultimately to a worldwide level. And now with technology, it becomes much easier. Now with technology, you can do one video and millions of people can see it, like with this vendor, right? So the lesson here is that those things that we think are the main thing, like, I don't know, making money, having a living, really God is putting you in that place for those interactions, for the people that you stand to benefit in the world. And no matter where you are in the world, no matter whether you're on the big screen or in an office, or every person you meet is an opportunity. No matter how big or how small you think your circle of influence is, it doesn't make a difference. Could be that you're in this world to be a mentor to one person, to uplift one person. So what's the secret of fame? If God blesses you and He aggrandizes your name, meaning He puts you in a position where you can help someone else, so use that as an opportunity to aggrandize the name of God, to connect them to God, to help them to align their life with God. Because ultimately that's going to bring blessing and light and goodness and all of that. It's going to shine that. It's going to reveal that to all of reality. Like it says about this vendor, people come to him thanking him because he uplifted the entire community. Because now, what do all the other vendors see? To whatever extent they see it, that it's about the interactions. It's not about the commerce. And this is the great thing that Abraham saw. It's about the interactions. It's not about the commerce. It's not about having a tent, like a restaurant in the desert. It's about the interactions. It's about the blessing afterwards. You're teaching them to bless God afterwards. So as we come to this, to the Rosh Hashanah, just over a week from now, keep this in mind. Keep this in mind, because God wants to bless each and every one of us with whatever it's going to be that's going to fulfill our life purpose. Whatever it's going to be that's going to fulfill the reason for why our soul came down here to begin with. And whether that's fame, or whether that's wealth, or whether that's whatever it is, it's the time now is to come up with a plan, even if we're taking footsteps forward and it's not exactly clear where we're headed, because we're charting new territory, to the best of our ability to make a plan. The Lubavitcher Rebbe made a plan 30 years out. Make a plan, 3 years out, 5 years out. Make a plan. But the main thing is to be taking those steps forward, to be progressing in life, to realize that we're here for a purpose, and that purpose, no matter what it's going to be, whatever our specifics are, it's going to be to benefit others, regardless of what that means. If I'm blessed with wealth, then give a lot of charity. If I'm blessed with fame, as is the topic of this video, then you're going to have to really realize that the reason for that is not for the yachts and for the fast cars and whatever else. It's in order to promote the name of God in the world.